Hey y'all, it's Dr. Shamanda. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things mental health, personal finance, and overall strategies to live your best life. Alright y'all, so welcome back or welcome to my channel. I am a millennial single mom of 2 teenagers. Former high school dropout turned PhD doctor. Okay. So, you guys know I'm on a journey towards financial freedom, time freedom, and building generational wealth. Anyway, y'all, I am super excited. It is Wednesday. We are literally halfway through this week and almost through another pay period for me. And you guys know I'm super hype about this one specifically because I'm using this paycheck next week to pay off my car, which is so exciting. And obviously when I get paid, I also will be contributing to my investment portfolio for retirement, and just getting closer and closer to financial freedom and paying off debt and saving and all that kind of good stuff. So super excited about that, always excited about that. But today I wanted to talk about something that crossed my mind, and that's being a first generation millionaire. And I am so excited about that. I truly believe that there's nothing that I can't do and accomplish in this world, in this earth. And where do I get that confidence from? Because I've seen God do the miraculous in my life. He has done amazing things, but only when I steward the opportunities, right? Only when I utilize the resources that are available to me, whether that's my education, my passion, my work ethic, my drive, my ambition, my determination, essentially my mindset, right? And even my past traumas, past experiences. There's some people who they look at things that have happened to them, or their past experiences as a negative thing, and I don't. I literally have put my entire story out for the world to see. I don't care, baby, because you cannot control me with my story. If I tell you my story, I take the power. I own that power. I own my own narrative, and I mean that literally, because I literally released my first book, my memoir, my story, in 2019, and you can find that book on Amazon right now, Wounded Healer. And I also executive produced and wrote my first movie, which is inspired by my memoir. That's playing on Tubi right now for free. So essentially I literally own my story, and I learned pretty early on that I get to create my narrative. I get to create my life journey. God is directing it, like he's over this, but I'm the main character, right? Like I get to determine what I want for myself and how I want my life to go, right? And so that is exciting for me. And I've seen myself go from the bottom, y'all, to like where I am now. Again, I keep talking about this, but this month is so amazing for me because, again, it's a accumulation of like all the hard work and effort, essentially. Next week I will be celebrating, God willing, 2 years as a homeowner. I was on Section 8, y'all. I need you to understand that. I was a teen mom and I was on Section 8. I remember that. And I grew up in a family system where that was the norm. There was no shame in that. That was the norm. So, but I knew early on that I wanted something different. So to be here at 36, PhD, right? 15 years of experience in my profession, licensed, double licensed, 2 teenagers that are, becoming like young adults, and just like I said, a homeowner. I'm about to own my own car, like paid for a car, and literally so many assets and savings and investments and all that kind of stuff. Like again, this is not to brag, but it just speaks to the power that you get to determine how you want your life to go. Like at the end of the day, yes, things are going to happen to you, things are going to be hard, things are going to be challenging, but you can take that stuff and you can either soak in it and live in that space forever, or you can use that to do something different, to empower you, to inspire you to change the narrative. So when I say that I'm the first gen millionaire, no, I have not hit my millionaire status yet or net worth yet, but I know it's happening just because of the mere fact that everything that I'm living out right now was once a thought. It was just an idea. It was just this dream, this concept, this desire that I want for myself, but it wasn't my reality. I had to put in the work every day. So anyway, first gen millionaire, there are a couple things. So obviously I don't have a trust fund, I don't have a safety net, and I didn't have a roadmap. Like, these are all the things that basically come with being the first gen millionaire. Like, you're starting from scratch. You're the one that's going to be starting that and building that foundation. And if you do it, the ones behind you don't have to start over. Like, my kids, I told them, you guys, you're in it with me almost, right? Like, for example, my kids don't have to move out at 18 and like go get an apartment and get it from the bottom. All that, they don't have to do that. We have a home that we live in that I'm paying the mortgage on, essentially, right? So they can stay here for as long as they want to, right? And I know some people may disagree with that. I don't care. There's that. But they get to stay here, stack up, save to buy their first home, and start investing at 7. My daughter started investing at 16. My son, and he's already started investing as well. He's 18. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're doing things different. They're already building that foundation for themselves. But their children are going to be the ones that are going to be trust fund babies. Right? Like, they're going to be the trust fund babies. And we're okay with that. I'm so excited about that. Also, it takes a level of mindset shift, right? So from that survival mode to wealth builder. Like, knowing that, like, I'm no longer in this, oh, I'm barely making it, whatever. Like, yes, I live very frugally, and I need you to understand the difference between being a survival versus being a minimalist and frugal, right? I think that sometimes people can think that, like, just because you're not flashy and all that. Like, I drive a Mercedes. My car is a Mercedes, y'all, but it's like a 10-year-old Mercedes. It's not like this car that's like a 2025 fresh off the lot. No, like, I'm still very frugal. I bought it from a legitimate what did you call it, like pre-owned dealership type thing, but it was checked out and all that kind of stuff, so it runs smoothly and all this. But Mercedes hold their value, right? So it's like a depreciating asset, but a Mercedes holds its value. So if I wanted to sell this car, I know I'm going to get a certain amount of money from it. You know what I mean? So anyway, but from that survival mode to wealth builder. So I think as a wealth builder, I think of, like, in terms of investments, whether that's my time, my money, my education, whatever. Like, everything is going to pay me back in dividends, and so I don't play around with my time or anything at all. So, and then the other thing is, like, using practical steps. So obviously paying off debt, saving, investing, creating multiple streams of income. You guys know I am building on my YouTube channel. I'm super excited, and again, super grateful to everybody who subscribes to my channel and watches and supports this channel in the way that you guys do, just by watching and utilizing the information that I share with you guys. That is so important, and so appreciate it. Let's look at something. All right, hold on one second. All right, guys, sorry. I actually had to take my daughter to her a job interview, and she got it. I'm so excited. I should catch that in real time, but anyway. Right on the spot. This is her second job, y'all. Like, her second job. And every job both now, she's gotten them on the spot. And yes, I practiced my daughter. I'll be preparing her and all that. So I'm so excited, and she's excited. And the good thing is, again, when we talk about wealth building, the one factor you want to always consider is passing it down to the next generation. Like, what's the use of me putting all these things in place, building this foundation, buying a home, saving, investing, all that stuff, when my children, if they didn't know what to do with that money once I'm gone, it would just end with them, essentially. And that's not building generational wealth. Generational wealth is you passing it down from generation to generation. So one thing, like, my children are homeschooled anyway, they took a personal finance class, and then I also talked to them about finances and taxes and all that stuff. And again, they've already started saving. They already have investment accounts and things of that sort. They have savings accounts, high yield savings accounts, all that stuff already. So that's one reason why, we decided that they'll get part-time jobs so they can keep adding to that. Because they know and they respect the fact that I'm a single mom. Obviously, you guys know that. And it's just me. So, and I don't get any assistance, any child support, none of that stuff. So they know that I am focused on building my wealth and my retirement accounts and stuff like that. So, because a goal would have been, I don't know, a goal was, I guess, technically to add to theirs, right? But because I'm trying to fast track my goals, and pay off my debts, my student loans, which are all high, my mortgage and all that kind of stuff, it limited me on adding to theirs, essentially. So now they're a little bit older. They're 17, 18. Let's be for real. So they working part-time jobs, and the only stipulation, I don't take any of their money. I don't want any of their money. But the stipulation is that they, I provided transportation, of course, right, and anything they might need for work, something like that. But they have to put a certain percentage of their money in their investments and savings, and they're in agreement with that. It's not a forced thing. They understand the importance of that. And then I believe like, as I pay off my debts and stuff like that, and I have more money in my accounts, I'm definitely going to contribute and help them with anything they might need, whether it's their first home or anything like that. So that's kind of where it is. So they're saving up for their first car and all that kind of stuff. Ideally, the goal, I wanted to be able to buy their first car and all that stuff. But honestly, as I'm looking at all these things now in real time, it feels like it's going to hit different for them to be able to do this themselves. Again, I'm providing them that foundation, because when I was growing up, I had 2 kids. I had to get my own car. I had to also, rent all the essentials while trying to do those things. So they don't have to do that. They have that. They get to stay here for free. You know what I'm saying? They have all their basic needs met. But saving up for their car, saving and like investing and saving anything they want, any extracurricular things they want to do, they can do those things and they'll be able to fund it. So if that makes sense. But anyway, but again, the whole point is that their children will have it so much easier because we can gift them a car. You know what I'm saying? We can gift them a home, stuff like that. Like, they don't necessarily have to save for any of that stuff. They'll have those things handed to them, but they'll also know about generational wealth and building wealth and things like that. So the other thing is acknowledging the challenges. So obviously, like, self-doubt can creep in it sometimes. It's hard doing this. The first part of this, the first phase of this, I feel like I'm kind of in the middle right now. The first part, getting started, was hard. Like, the initial contributions, the initial sacrifices, really not knowing if it was going to make a difference. That was hard, but I've got past that part. Of course, the opinions of others. People will automatically start to think that you think you're better because you're not trying to go out and hang out, or you're not saying yes to them and giving them money. Oh, they're going to need me one day. All that stuff like that. You got to get past those thoughts. And as someone, as I told you guys, someone who is a recovering codependent, those things weren't easy for me. Okay, y'all, I'm back in the car. I'm back in the house. My phone would not let me be great in the car. I don't understand. Anyway, so what else was I saying? And then the other one is like pressure from like outside, like the societal pressures and stuff to like live it up and to impress people and all that kind of stuff. And I ain't got it in me. I just don't. So whatever. But last but not least, it's so important to like focus on the bigger picture. Honestly, like, y'all know, freedom for me is like everything. And it's just being able to live life on your own terms, your own timeline, schedule, being able to help people do things, travel, live life, and not in the way that's like, oh, you flexing on the gram or flexing on social media and showing off your luxurious life and stuff like that. It's not about that. It's about like just living your life. And quite frankly, as someone who lives with an autoimmune disease, that there's no cure for it, it just gives me a different level of thinking, a different level of like urgency. You know what I'm saying? Because you just never know. And I want to enjoy my life while I'm here. I want to enjoy this life. I don't know what comes. We don't know what's after this. You know what I'm saying? And I love this life, and I want to be able to enjoy it to the fullest. And I want my kids to be able to enjoy their lives to their fullest. And I don't want us to be limited by things based on the money that we do or do not have, And I want my grandchildren to have access to things, to be able to enjoy life, to start off on a different level. And I don't know. So at the end of the day, though, being a first generational millionaire, that's goals for me. I'm multi-millionaire. But focus on the first one right now. And that's exciting, and I know it's possible. You guys already know, I'm sure I already have this book. I've been reading it. Well, I read this like a year ago, I think. But I'm sure you've heard of this book. This is We Should All Be Millionaires by Rachel Rodgers. Obviously, I studied Dave Ramsey. And just so many other personal finance Napoleon Hill, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, all those. I read those books years ago when I was starting out. Like, I was working on my bachelor's degree at that time. My kids were like 4, 5, maybe 5 or 6 years old. I used to go to the library before I picked them up from daycare after I left school or whatever, like, or after work, whatever, like in between daycare, like picking them up from daycare, I might have a little bit of time. Like, I used to be in that library. I used to get those books. I have about 5 or 6 books at a time, and I check them out. And my kids be watching on Saturdays. My kids be watching cartoons, eating their breakfast, and I would just be at the table, and I have my stack of books, and I'm reading my books. It kept me out of trouble for sure, and it just fed my mind. I would just look at my kids, and I would just read my books, you know, or do my homework and raise my kids and go to work. Like, that was my life for so many years, and it paid off. I mean, you see the degrees. My doctorate is over there too. You see the licenses and stuff, you know what I'm saying? You see the flexibility in the work that I do. Like, I earned this. This is 15 plus years of working in this field, and nothing came easy, nothing comes easy. But I have hundreds of thousands of dollars in assets, you know, at this point, and I'm building. So it's not far-fetched for me to be a first generational millionaire. It's happening. It's already happening. I'm just crossing over. I'm in the middle of it, and I'm excited about that and everything that this means for me and my kids and the next generation, and for people who aren't even part of my family, right? The people who would just benefit from hearing my story and following me and being inspired by me. I'm excited for them too, because sometimes it's about you showing up and doing what you're called to do, and that's what makes the difference in other people's life. I hope you can catch that. Anyway, y'all, that's what I have for this video. I hope you like this video. If you do, like the video, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll see you guys next time.